case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In the slew of court cases heard by the Supreme Court of the United States in 1910, a particular case, Thompson v. Thompson, cast light on the limitations of rights of married women in Washington, D.C., particularly in terms of their capacity to seek legal redress against their husbands. At the crux of the case was an interpretation of the District of Columbia Code that permits married women to engage in business, make contracts, and sue for their separate property damages, yet oddly, given this degree of liberation, fails to allow them to sue their spouses for any form of personal harm. The seeds of the case were sown when a wife sought legal compensation against her husband for several instances of assault and battery. Aiming to sue her husband under the relevant section of the District of Columbia Code, the plaintiff demanded $70,000 in damages, sparking a significant legal debate on the applicability of the law in such circumstances as the statute did not expressly authorize wives to sue their husbands. First heard in the Supreme Court of the District of Columbia, the court found in the husband's favor, decreeing that the wife had no rights under the existing laws to chase such an action against her spouse. This decision was subsequently upheld by the Court of Appeals of the District of Columbia, as it underscored the historical legal perspective that considered a husband and a wife as one entity, which inherently undercut a wife's individual rights. Emblematic of the period, the court reiterated that the power to update and reinterpret these laws lay with lawmakers, not the courts, despite some states having bestowed married women with expanded rights, inclusive of the capacity to sue for trespass or seek protection against assault. In conclusion, the final verdict conferred the legal interpretation that while married women in Washington, D.C. were emancipated from some common law restrictions and permitted to sue independently, they ultimately could not take legal action against their husbands for personal injuries. The judges agreed with the Court of Appeals' interpretation, asserting that the Congress did not intend to fundamentally transform how the law viewed marital relationships in the District of Columbia.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.